interpret how that one played out, Chris?
Well, that's 2 weeks in a row now where we've had not a substantial lead at half time, but a lead, and then we've coughed it up. And the last quarter they annihilated us really. On entries, on scores, you name it, they got the better of us. So we got a bit of work to do after that. Things seem to be going along quite well after the Gold Coast win, but the last couple of weeks, some things have popped up that we need to work on. So, yeah.
Same issues, do you think, as last week, or what do you figure on?
Similar. I mean, you look at it, and we went down and contested the ball by 18 tonight, and centre bounce for -7. I think we lost clearances overall, but mostly in there. This is really important, this ground, to win centre bounce. We didn't tackle them all that well, 49% efficiency. So, to me, they're effort stats, and they've been down pretty much 2 weeks in a row now.
Did it feel like the team was tired? Because that last quarter, it just didn't feel like like you're getting outnumbered at contests.
Yeah. No, it was hunger. I reckon it was hunger. I don't think we were tired. I can't make that excuse for us. We've had 7-day breaks the last few weeks, so there's been nothing unusual there. So no, it just came down to effort and hunger, I think, at the end. And Melbourne, in a sense, were potentially playing for their season in a way. Like they're coming into this game 3 wins and 6 losses. Yeah, so they had a lot to play for, and we played strongly in the first half, even the first 3 quarters really. But then when the whips got cracking in the last quarter, we couldn't get the ball out of our back line. I think they scored 4 goals, 5 from turnover in the last quarter. So that, it's pretty hard to win when that happens. And then I thought when we had momentum in the game at different times in the first half and even in the third quarter, we turned the ball over like unexplainably, unforced errors, and they were able to score off those, and that sort of kept them close to us on the scoreboard. I don't think we got the reward for effort in that period of time in the game, but certainly in the last quarter, no excuses from us. They dominated the game.
Do you think that those unforced errors are a hunger thing as well?
No.
Is that just
decision making and skill?
Psychologically, do you think it's like the premiership hangover is that part of it, do you think, now?
I don't know. Geez, you blokes are quick to jump on that one, I reckon. Like, this time last year, we're 4 wins and 5 losses and a draw or something like that. Like, it's like you're all hanging around waiting for a premiership hangover. I'm not using that excuse. Like, for me, that's not an excuse. I just look at the facts in the game and say, this is what happened, we've got to fix it. It's not, oh, boys, have you got a premiership hangover? Because I don't think they'd know, and I don't think I'd know either. There's been no evidence of that. We've had our best start in years, maybe the best start the club's ever had coming into tonight's game. So I don't think it's that. I know there's been narrative around us, but if you have a look at our results so far this year, I mean, we've beaten the Suns, they're going pretty well. We've beaten the Dogs, they're going pretty well. We've beaten Geelong, they're going pretty well. And we did off the back of a shorter pre-season, a lot of blokes having surgeries, interruption coming into round 1 against Sydney with the Cyclones. So, up until tonight, and obviously I wasn't happy with the Collingwood game, not happy about having a draw last week, but tonight was really disappointing. But it's just tonight. It's not a pattern. Unless you guys can see a pattern that I can't see.
No, I guess because you mentioned the word hunger, so I'm thinking, well, how do you?
Yeah, I'm talking about tonight. The hunger, in the end, the hunger wasn't there in the last quarter. Not all night, but in the last quarter. So we'll talk about that and what happened there. But I can't say that's been the case all year. From time to time, it is within games, but that's how momentum goes. That's normal. But it was poor tonight in the last quarter.
I know you faced probably the 2 best ruckmen in the comp the last fortnight. But how concerning is that part of the ground at the moment?
The centre, the ruck bit, or
and the centre bounce, I guess.
Yeah, well, we have played against the 2 best probably in the last 2 weeks, and they often do that to their opposition. It's more what happens at ground level to a degree. Although Max tonight was able to smash the ball forward. Cherry was able to do that last week. We just got to work out, try and do our best in the ruck taps and work out what we do at ground level to to mitigate their advantage.
So what was the story with Oscar then?
So Oscar trained yesterday. I know you guys asked me that in the press conference, so I knew you were going to ask me today. We expected him to play yesterday, but looking at him in the captain's run, which was after I spoke to you, he didn't. I just wasn't satisfied that he was up for a contest against Max Gawn. You know, he's carrying a few corkies and bruises, etc. That is a normal thing for wear and tear on ruckman. So we just made the choice tonight to pick a fitter, fresher Darcy Fort.
It was tough for him, wasn't it, for Darcy against Max?
Yeah, it's tough for every ruckman against Max. He's the best ever. I've got no doubt about that. No disrespect to any other ruckman that's played the game, but you know, he's a tremendous player and he's a great weapon for them to have, and they used him well tonight.
Coleman came back in a good side.
Yeah, that was good. He he probably played better than I expected that he would. You know, it's been a long time for him not to play. I thought he came forward and intercepted well on a few times, used the ball quite well. He'll be able to build quite well on top of that.
Looking ahead, I guess you got one of the itches to scratch that you haven't yet with Hawthorn in Melbourne. Is that like how motivating would that be to go down there and beat them next week? I guess that would address.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't matter who we're playing next week in a way. It's just we just need to turn the last couple of weeks around. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been able to win against the Hawks. I think 2019 might have been the last time. I think they beat us the first game of the COVID year, and we haven't beaten them since. So really good challenge for us. Look forward to it. You know, we've got to move on pretty quickly. Happens in 6 days, so we can't sit around this week and lament about what happened tonight. We'll have a chat after the game, and we'll move on pretty quickly to what our next opponents will be, which is Hawthorn, obviously. So, no worries.
Thank you.